constructing a paper before we ever start writing is one of the better ways to make sure that your paper is high quality. So in this video, we're going to break down that construction process and what I like to do to start building a paper instead of just writing and hoping that we get a good product. First off, I like to set it up. My blank Word document, I just put on introduction, section 1, 2, and 3, and conclusion. I literally write those words on there because that is the bare bones of the paper, and we're going to start adding sections and content to those sections as we go. The next thing is the process. The process that I like to do is writing the body first and then writing the conclusion and then writing the introduction. Oftentimes I see students that they wrote their introduction first and it's too narrowly focused and they run out of steam and can't hit their page requirement or whatever it is that they need to get to. By doing it this way, it allows you to rearrange pieces of your paper and to make sure that you can add in more specific sections without having to completely rewrite your introduction every time you edit or change what your paper is talking about. So I like to do these things in this order. In section 1, I like to do context and definitions. I like to build the argument out a little bit. In section 2, I build section 1 up and explain my process or the major steps to try to fix or discuss the things that I explained were issues or problems in section 1, and then in section 3 kind of build out those expected outcomes and try to push forward in a forward thinking or a future thinking concept. One thing that you have to remember is as you're writing a paper, you're the one doing the research, so you know more about the topic at hand than your reader does. So building a 5-point essay, typically an argumentative essay is what they connect these two with. But if you're building an argument, you're taking your reader from an understanding level of 0 and trying to get them to basically your side or to see things the way that you see them or to argue a point by the end of your essay. So building it this way kind of makes sense if you're doing it within those parameters. Of course, your paper might have a completely different focus, so make sure that you are building sections that make sense for the assignment that you're given. In each one of these sections, they're all expandable, so you can actually put a point, point 2, point 3, and then build as many subpoints and then subcategories as you need to. If you're looking at it like a book, you could do section 1 is actually a section of the book, and then your points are all chapters. So you've got chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and then in section 2, that's actually a different section of your book. Or whatever it is, it might just be pages. Section 1 is really the first 3 pages of your paper, and points 1, 2, and point 3 are groups of paragraphs. Maybe that's all you're dealing with. So break it down into subsections and be thinking of each of those. In your conclusion, you're basically wrapping up your paper and you're emphasizing the things that you want your reader to leave with. And then I write my introduction last because after I've written my entire paper, then I know what I'm going to talk about because I've already written it. So then you save that for last because it allows you to be able to manage your paper as you're building it. So then the last thing is update your skeleton, update your sections of your paper as you're researching or as you're taking your notes, and then edit, edit, edit. This allows you to edit as you're building your paper. You can remove sections of your paper or rework sections. You can see as your research flows in, you'll notice, oh, I actually have a ton of research in this area, so I need to break that into 2 different sections, or I need to go find research in this area because it's very underdeveloped. So be paying attention to those things. As we jump in, I will go up and we will grab, here's my Word document. Like I said, I literally am putting all of this stuff actually on the document. And then if we build that out a little bit, you'll see I've added some stuff in here. I highlighted it just so you could see that those are the same level of information in there. And you're building this out as you're reading, as you're researching, and as you're pulling your quotes. And then document 3 would be actually shoving some quotes in there. Of course, this is nonsense. It's just filler text. But I put everything in there, including my in-page citation as it would appear in my paper, so that when it's time to write, I've got every point and all of those dots, and all I have to do when I'm writing is connect those dots and build my thoughts out a little bit more. So this is how I would start a paper, and this is how I kind of edit my paper on the go so that I don't have to backtrack and be editing and organizing while I'm writing. So hopefully that helps, and good luck writing your papers.